I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. I'm here today at the 2023 IPO Summit taking place at the New York Stock Exchange, and I'm here with Leslie Pfrang. She is partner and principal at Class 5 Group. Leslie, wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Judy.
Now, I'm excited to talk with you, but before we do that, just a quick note to viewers. This interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. All right, so Leslie, tell me about Class 5 Group, the work you do with private and public companies.
Sure. So Class 5 Group is a boutique consulting firm. And basically our sole focus is preparing companies to be public. We help them through the IPO process, and then we help them navigate through the markets once public. We're small by design. We're not trying to be the biggest advisor. We are trying to be the best. And we get very deep into our company's businesses and really typically work with them 18 months or more before they approach the public stage. And we're very selective. We only work with a handful of companies at a time, and it's only senior level partners.
Okay. So now tell me, what's the best piece of advice you have for companies as they prepare for an IPO?
As they prepare for an IPO, I mean, there's two things that I would say. It's number one, start early. You can prepare hair on fire and spend a fortune and bring a lot of people in to get you ready to go public, but then you don't really develop the muscle that you need to be successful, within your organization. So start early. Pick a day in the future, 18 to 24 months in advance. Work backwards. Put a very, good plan in place. Bring experts in to help you. Most companies that go public now do have an advisor like Class 5 Group or Class 5 Group. And then the other piece of advice I would give companies is question everything. There's been a tremendous amount of innovation around going public. And a lot of it is issuer friendly. I could get into a lot of detail, but bottom line is everything doesn't have to be the way it used to be in an IPO. You can customize it, design it to accomplish your own goals, whether that's for employees, customers, your brand, your business. But there are just a lot of things that you can do if you really ask the questions and want to have it your way. So,
all right, now Leslie, what would you say is the biggest pitfall to avoid as a company prepares to go public?
I would say the biggest pitfall is getting out over your skis on numbers or on talking about the business ahead of where you are. You'll hear people recommend that companies get out and meet with public investors and how they'll learn, and it's wonderful, and that is all true. But the minute that you step in front of a public investor, you are held to a standard of operating like a public company. You're establishing a public track record with those investors. So make sure before you start that process that you're really buttoned up and that you're ready to represent yourself and deliver as a public company. So I would say, don't get out over your skis, don't overpromise, don't go too early. Make sure you're always ready.
Okay, and finally, a company goes public. What's next? What should they be focused on?
It is, not the destination. It really is the beginning of the journey. I would say the most important thing is consistent messaging and execution to that message. Public investors are very different from your private venture capital investors. They own hundreds of companies. They can't get quite as deep as your venture capitalists were, and they can also vote daily with their feet. So they want simple, well-defined goals and KPIs. They want you to deliver on them consistently. They're going to look at the notes from your last 3 meetings, look at the transcript from your earnings call. They're going to see that you're consistently delivering, and they're going to be great long-term holders of your stock. So I would say simple, consistent messaging and execution is the key to success as a public company.
Okay. All right. Well, Leslie, wonderful to talk with you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate you having me.